Let me ask you something. Are you just exhausted? Like emotionally drained from trying to manage how everyone else feels? Staging family dinners like you're a UN peacekeeper, or agonizing over a text message so it doesn't sound too harsh. Well, what if I told you there's a powerful idea that could give you all that energy, peace, and power back? Let's get into it.
Seriously, just take a second and think about it. Does your life feel like this constant, high-wire balancing act, where you're just trying to make sure your partner's good, your friends are okay, your family's happy? If you're even kind of nodding along right now, you are definitely not alone. But here's the kicker. What if that very instinct, that need to make sure everyone is okay, is the very thing that's holding you back?
Okay, so let's dive right in. This is called the let them theory, and it's a game-changing concept from Mel Robbins. The idea at its core is actually pretty simple, but it's revolutionary. It's this: your constant attempt to control and manage everyone else's happiness is the very thing making you miserable. And the only way to break that cycle, you gotta let them be unhappy.
So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to break down the 4 big things you are not responsible for. Then, we'll flip the script and talk about what you are responsible for. Simple as that. Let's jump in.
All right, first things first, you are not responsible for other people's happiness. I mean it. This is the bedrock of the entire theory. The truth is, you just can't control what other people think, or feel, or do. It's impossible. And trying to? Man, that is a one-way ticket to burnout.
And this quote, it really reframes what people-pleasing is, doesn't it? It's not just you being nice. No, it's a direct drain on your time and energy, the very resources you need for your own life, your own dreams, your own happiness. It's like you end up living your life completely backwards, always putting everyone else's needs ahead of your own.
And look, this doesn't always show up as some huge dramatic gesture. Most of the time, it's these little sneaky things, stuff you might not even realize you're doing. Like, you hold back on posting that happy engagement photo because you know a friend is going through a tough breakup, or you're constantly walking on eggshells at home to avoid a bad mood. Every single one of those little actions, that's you taking responsibility for someone else's feelings.
Okay, let's move on to number 2, and you'll see how these ideas build on each other. Here it is. You are not responsible for rescuing people from their problems. I know, that one's tough, especially when you love them, but you have to let them learn their own lessons from life.
This is so important, but it's also really hard to hear. Our natural instinct is to jump in and play hero, to solve the problem for the people we love. But think about it. What really happens when we do that? When we shield them from the consequences of their choices, we might actually be stopping them from ever developing the strength to fix things themselves.
And this right here, this is the key difference. There's supporting, and then there's enabling. Supporting is believing in them, being a lifeline they can grab onto when they're ready. But enabling, that's when you jump in the water and do all the swimming for them. You see, real help is a two-way street. It takes someone giving it and someone willing to accept it. If they aren't ready to do their part, you're not helping, you're enabling.
And these are some classic examples, right? Loaning money to your sibling for the 3rd time this year, paying rent for your adult kid who just isn't trying, cleaning up your roommate's mess just to avoid a fight. In those moments, let's be honest, you're not really helping them grow. You're just trying to make your own immediate discomfort disappear.
All right, on to principle number 3. This is a big one. You are not responsible for making other people understand your life choices. Seriously, you have to stop twisting yourself into a pretzel trying to explain yourself. Just let them misunderstand you.
So to explain this, Mel Robbins tells this fantastic story. Picture this. She's driving down some random rural highway in New England, and way off in the distance she sees something kind of bizarre. It's a man just casually riding a unicycle down the shoulder of the road. And she's thinking, what in the world? It made absolutely zero sense to her. Why on earth would anyone do that? But then it hit her. It doesn't have to make sense to her. It doesn't matter. That guy wasn't riding his unicycle for her approval. He was just out there living his best life, doing his thing. And that's the whole point right there. Your dreams, your goals, the choices you make, they only have to make sense to you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your neighbor, nobody else. Every ounce of energy you waste trying to get their buy-in is energy you could be spending just living your own unicycle life. Okay, this brings us to our 4th and final principle, and honestly, this one might be the most important of them all. You are not responsible for proving your worth to other people. Let them think what they want, let them underestimate you.
You know, we get this so backwards so much of the time.
We think that if we can just collect enough likes on a post, or get enough praise from our boss, or get everyone's approval, then we'll finally feel worthy. But that's not how it works. Real, unshakable self-worth, that's an inside job. It comes from you actually liking who you are, no matter who's in the audience clapping for you.
And we do this constantly, in small ways. Maybe you underprice your freelance work for people you know because you're scared they won't think you're worth it. Or you don't speak up with that great idea in a meeting. You hide the quirky, real parts of yourself to try and impress a new partner's family. Every single time you do that, you're engaging in what Mel Robbins calls self-rejection. You're basically telling yourself, I'm not good enough as I am.
So, okay, after you let go of all the stuff you thought was your job, managing everyone's happiness, fixing their problems, getting their approval, what's actually left? And this is key. This isn't about becoming lazy or passive. It's the total opposite. It's about reclaiming all that wasted energy and power and finally focusing it on what truly matters.
So, here's the big pivot. If you stop trying to control all that outside noise, what are you actually responsible for? Where does all that reclaimed time and energy go?
It's simple, really. You're responsible for your own happiness. You're responsible for making choices that line up with your values. And you're responsible for showing up in the world with integrity and putting in the effort, not to impress anybody else, but to make yourself proud. That's it. That's the whole job.
So if you take anything away today, let it be this. Real freedom isn't about getting a standing ovation from everyone. It's about realizing you don't even need their applause. As long as you are clapping for yourself, for the life you're building, for the person you're becoming, then you're already winning. So just let them.